On today's show, we'll continue our reflection on former Prime Minister Edward Seaga's contributions to nation building, plus Saved by the Army, empowering stories of the visually impaired, also safeguards against climate change impacts. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stick around for these and more to come right after this message and a recap of the week's top news stories.
The Disabilities Act will protect the rights of all persons with disabilities. And here's a great teaching moment. Every person with a disability, like a deaf or hard of hearing child, for example, has the right to an education with accessible facilities and the support they need. In this case, it would be a teacher who can use the language of the deaf, which is sign language. Visit jcpdja.com. A message from the JCPD, an agency of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Former Prime Minister Edward Seaga died this week at age 89. In a brief statement to Parliament on Tuesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced that he would be given a state funeral. The Prime Minister led the country in paying tribute to the man who was the last living member of the committee that framed the Jamaican Constitution.
He served this country for most of his life. He was in this parliament for over 40 years. He is truly a great Jamaican. Indeed, he participated in the framing of our Constitution and in the development of so many institutions which now define Jamaica.
Mr. Seaga's body will be received by the government and a Jamaica Defence Force Honor Guard when it is flown home tomorrow on a Caribbean Airlines flight. Meanwhile, condolence books are now open for Jamaicans locally and overseas to pay tribute to Mr. Seaga. They are at the office of the Prime Minister in St. Andrew and its Western branch, as well as Gordon House, all municipal corporations, Jamaica's overseas missions, and the headquarters of the Jamaica Labour Party. In other news, over $100 million will be spent this financial year to upgrade and implement several markets across the country.
In consultations with the Negril Chamber of Commerce, residents and stakeholders in Negril, the technical team of the ministry has completed the design for a brand new market to be built in Negril.
The markets at Stony Hill in St. Andrew and Hopewell in Hanover will also undergo rehabilitation works, while Phase 2 of the Clarkstown Market project is to begin during the financial year. In other local government news, the Portfolio Minister also announced that ground would be broken on June 6 for the construction of the Barnett Street Fire Station in Montego Bay. It's one of several to be constructed or renovated.
For the first time in decades, Mr. Speaker, we are building 5 brand new fire stations.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging the business community to seize the opportunities that will arise from the at least 15 development projects set to be implemented across the corporate area soon.
The government is going to put in place everything to make sure that when you decide to build, you are well facilitated. We're truly going to transform the skyline of the city of Kingston to make it really the pearl of the Antilles.
Jamaicans are to benefit from a new pilot program being introduced in Canada for non-seasonal agricultural workers, particularly in the meat and butcher industries.
That industry in Canada particularly is facing a 12% shortage of workers. And so that's a severe need at a time when we would like to increase our exports of meat to the world. So the non-seasonal agricultural and agri-food and meat cutting and butcher pilot program will help address some of those gaps.
Ultrasound services at the Spanish Town Hospital have been improved through the installation of a $9.4 million state-of-the-art machine donated by the Japanese government.
This one will see value being created to up to 100, sometimes more, patients per week, I am told. And this hospital is probably one of the busiest in the country.
Cabinet has given the go-ahead to have video surveillance on road networks across the island as part of measures to reduce road crashes.
We are fully committed to ensuring that our roads are very forgiving. So efforts are being made to ensure that the requisite roadside objects are strategically placed on the network to ensure the best chances of survival should a traffic accident occur.
And architectural designs are to be completed this financial year for the construction of judicial complexes in St. Anne, St. James and Manchester. And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
I like to do things that can help people to develop. Because when you help people to develop, you're helping the country to develop.
During the course of his political life, former statesman Edward Seaga made a significant impact on Jamaica's growth and development. He was a political giant, a visionary, whose contributions have helped to transform Jamaica's social, cultural, political, and financial landscapes. Here's more on his political life.
In his quest to bridge the gap between the lower and middle classes, politics became his second connection, a springboard for national transformation.
Within a year, I was the big name in the Legislative Council, which was at that time full of Fletcher, Kirkwood, you know, the establishment on one side. And on our side, it was Dickie Ashenheim and myself and Isabel Seaton and so on. But because of the kind of analysis that I was able to give to the material and my forceful style of speaking and passion, I quickly became the star of the show over there.
He held that portfolio as a member of the Jamaica Labour Party administration while serving as Member of Parliament in Western Kingston, a seat he would hold for 40 consecutive years. In 1972, Seaga emerged as leader of the JLP, leading the party to victory in the 1980 general election. The JLP won 51 of the 60 seats in the House of Representatives, a landslide victory over the People's National Party, the PNP.
When we win, you couldn't expect how we jive, jump, and make nice at the end of the night. You know, Valentine's Street at Chakamola, make nice.
1980, a 50-year-old Edward Seaga took the oath of office on his way to Jamaica House as the country's 5th Prime Minister. Leadership came with its opportunities.
I have great feeling and passion for the opportunity that politics gave me to be able to deal with my pet peeve about the country's development, and that is the two Jamaicas in which we live.
There were also challenges.
The one that was the worst one for us was the recession that took place at the beginning of it hit Jamaica in 1982-83. But it was a massive recession. It was at that time considered the worst global recession since the Great Depression of 1929. And that signature has been replaced now by what has happened since 2008. But nonetheless, that really created havoc with the economy.
And later, regrets.
I know that we did a lot of good things, and they're there for the record. But at the same time, you expect that people will understand and appreciate those good things, and you don't have to talk too much about them. Well, that was wrong. I should have promoted the things that we did, not once, not twice. In Jamaica, everything has to be said 3 times before it is really absorbed and understood.
Edward Seaga served as Prime Minister of Jamaica until 1989, when his party lost the general election to the PNP. It was the first of 4 general election defeats for Seaga, and after 31 years at the helm of the Jamaica Labour Party, the veteran politician walked away from representational politics. He was 74.
Do you know what a disability is? A permanent loss of function in any part of your body is called a disability. Some people are born that way. Others get a disability because of an illness or an accident. This doesn't have to prevent you from living a full life. The Disabilities Act will protect your right to work, raise families, or do business like anyone else. Visit jcpdja.com. A message from the JCPD, an agency of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
It's the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, and while we've been experiencing extreme weather patterns, too much rainfall or too little, this period brings the threat of high winds. These patterns are said to be the impact of climate change. We explore this and what people can do to lessen the damage that can result in this next feature.
Researchers say that climate change trends for the Caribbean include increased temperatures, rising sea levels, stronger and more frequent storms and hurricanes, and unpredictable rainfall patterns. In Jamaica, many older persons will tell you that there was a time when they could easily predict the rainy season, and they would use that prediction to decide when to plant their crops. But this has changed. A warmer earth means an atmosphere with more energy and moisture. As in other parts of the world, these 2 factors result in more extreme Caribbean weather, such as floods, hurricanes, heat waves, and droughts. From 2013 to 2015, Jamaica underwent its worst drought in 50 years. Many people in the city didn't have water in their pipes. In rural areas, water in springs and streams dried up. Jamaica's eastern parishes got 90% less than their normal annual rainfall. Agricultural production fell by more than 30%. Losses due to crop failures and wildfires were estimated at $1 billion. Fast forward to 2017, and there were many incidents of flooding all over the country. The increased irregularity in rainfall that led to severe drought on one hand and extreme flooding on the other is a sign of a changing climate. Scientists have also documented a strong connection between the impacts of superstorms like Hurricanes Sandy and Maria and the human-caused global warming. In Hellshire, the fishing community can tell many stories of the sea now being in places where houses once stood. In Negril, the ocean is now much closer to the hotels than it was several years ago. So, climate change is real, and it is changing how we live in Jamaica. In part 3 of this video, you will hear more about what we as Jamaicans can all do to help. Adapting to climate change means taking actions that reduce its impact on humans and the environment. What we do around our homes, schools, work, and communities can help to reduce negative climate impacts. Taking action to reduce these impacts is not as difficult as you may think. There are some actions which require lots of money or skills. However, there are other simple steps you can take. Install hurricane straps on roofs or build with flat roofs to reduce damage to homes, schools, and other buildings during storms. Catch rainwater in drums for use in your garden or household. Install drip irrigation to conserve precious water on your family farm during periods of drought. Installing gabion baskets to prevent or reduce soil movement, especially during sudden heavy rainfalls after an extended dry period, is a good measure. Dispose of garbage properly so it does not end up in our drains and gullies. Blocked drains and gullies make it harder for water to flow during heavy rainfall. This results in flooding. Finally, use climate-smart building designs that allow buildings to remain cooler even as temperatures increase. Climate change mitigation can remove, reduce, or even prevent greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere. Plant more trees to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Use renewable energy sources such as wind and solar to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide that enters the atmosphere in the first place. These are good examples of climate change mitigation measures. Let's conserve energy. Switch off lights when not in use. Unplug appliances such as TVs and computers after use. Switch to energy-efficient appliances and light bulbs. Put energy-saving timers on your refrigerators. Saving energy will save you money in the long run, and reducing fossil fuel use will lower the amount of greenhouse gases that enter the atmosphere. If each Jamaican practices these actions, together we will help our country deal with the many damaging effects of climate change. Achieving the transformation our country needs will require households, community-based organizations, government, and the private sector working together to raise awareness for positive changes in behavior and policies to minimize the negative impacts of climate change. Do your part.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
The Salvation Army School for the Blind and Visually Impaired is enabling and empowering its present and past students, as well as other visually impaired persons across Jamaica, to achieve their utmost. Find out more in this next feature.
My name is Tashtika Sam, and I'm a prefect of the Salvation Army School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. I've been here since the age of 6.
Tashtika Sang is just one of the many visually impaired students that have been empowered at the Salvation Army School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. The school, which is located at 57 Mannings Hill Road, prides itself on giving birth to confident, successful, and independent young minds.
We have on roll approximately 135 students, ranging from 4 years to 21 years of age. They are from different parishes all over Jamaica, and living accommodation is also provided for them, for those who are outside of the corporate area.
The contraction for ING. Nobody remember the ING said 3, 4, and 6. 3, 4, and 6. I'm done.
In addition to the normal curriculum, we do Braille. Braille, which helps the blind person to read and write. That is their mode of reading and writing. And we also have computer, which can help them also to communicate with the outside world. Mobility helps them to be more independent, to move about independently, instead of sitting down and waiting for other persons to take them to wherever they want to go. As long as they have the location, they know where they want to go, they can find their way around. So basically that is it. Yes, know how to behave when they are on the street, how to cross the street, yes, and what to look out for. And basically when they are out there, they have to depend a lot on their hearing.
In addition to equipping its current students with the requisite knowledge and life skills, the school also offers support to past students.
At the school here, we do employ some past students who have done extremely well in different areas, and they have come back here to work. We believe in getting them to work because they themselves can be motivators for the present students.
I am Sashana, and I came to the school in 1991, and today I assist with teaching the JAWS program. Now, the JAWS program is an acronym for Job Access with Speech, and this program allows blind and low vision persons to use the assistive technology to do everyday tasks such as writing, surfing the internet, and reading books.
Document 1 Microsoft Word document edit multi-line, page 1 section 1 blank. K-O-F-1-F. Unlock up to 0 space 19.
I spent my first 7 years of schooling here, from grade infants through to grade 6. Subsequently graduated, went to Calabar High School, spent 7 years there, went to the UE, where I completed both bachelor's and master's degree in social work. Now I'm here as the guidance counselor since the past 4 years. Every year the guidance counseling department organizes a fun day in commemoration of the National Children's Day. The event was planned so that they could enjoy themselves in a similar way to how persons of the general population would also enjoy their Children's Day.
Salvation Army School for the Blind, good afternoon. I have also gone through this marvelous institution, and I did all my subjects here and graduated from this institution, and I am now the receptionist of this organization. Now, a receptionist, you might ask, what do I do here? Well, basically, I answer and screen all the phone calls, and I also screen the visitors, and I also transcribe from Braille to print. Persons that have graduated from this institution would be in the high schools. Now, they would get homeworks. Now, how would the teacher, go about reading these homeworks, you might ask? This is where my job comes in. So they would write up what they're writing in Braille and bring their works back to me, and I would now transcribe them, send them by email or by print to the school for them to read.
S-C-O-R-T-U-R-C-D and the ING.
And there's more. The school also has an outreach program that caters to the needs of blind and visually impaired students across Jamaica.
As part of our outreach program, we carry out vision screening in communities and in schools. This chart is utilized to show the different levels of vision the student might have. For example, at the top of the chart, if the student can only see this large E, then the student will have 20/22 vision. And that means that that child must be referred to an ophthalmologist, since we are not specialists. So we refer the child to the ophthalmologist, who then, if the child needs to come to school to the blind to attend school here, the ophthalmologist will refer the child.
And I'm wiser, I'm better, so much better. When I look back over all you brought me through. What would we do without the teachers? They have been supportive. They've been our support systems away from our parents. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for the assistance and help of the Salvation Army School for the Blind, and I am so grateful for this opportunity. I could have lost it all, but now I see how you were there for me.
I encourage the deaf children to have deaf pride, to know that they can. You're on the same level as a hearing person. It doesn't matter that you can't hear. You have a lot of deaf adults who are successful, and you can achieve. You can get the education that you want. You can do anything that you want. You can achieve. Don't feel like you can't because you're deaf.
In believing that nothing is impossible, I have been able to culture a very positive attitude to life, and that positive attitude has worked for me, and I am confident it will work for others. I would want to say to persons with vision impairment and disabilities that it is critical that they become tooled or retooled with the appropriate technologies that can help to drive the way forward so that they can accomplish their vision and their goals.
Children with disabilities, whether you have CP or not, I strongly believe that you have a purpose. My disability has taught me that when it says the sky is the limit, it is. There are times when you're going to fall, but what is to stop you from rising?
Connections Dance Company presents the Junior Department Showcase Kaleidoscope at the Phoenix Theatre, 8 Haining Road, New Kingston. It's on Saturday, June 8, showtime 8 p.m. Cocktails will be served at 7 p.m. Another performance is planned for Sunday, June 9 at 5 p.m. Also on the notice board, Caribbean 1 Million Intercessors Network invites you to a gathering of emissaries sharing the prophetic word of God. 1 night, 2 days. Starting Thursday night, June 6 and closing out Saturday, June 8 at the Fellowship Tabernacle, 2 Fairfield Avenue, Kingston. Host pastor is Bishop Grace Adegold. For more information, call 876-898-3357 or 823-9365. It's a transformational experience under the theme, The Breaking Forth of the Dam. Be there. The Manchester Community Safety and Security Branch of the JCF presents the inspirational comedy play Single Parents on Sunday, June 9 at the Bel Air High School. Showtime 7 p.m. Tickets are available at Fontana Pharmacy and all police stations in Manchester, as well as Superplus food stores. And that's all for our community notices this Saturday. If you have something to share on our notice board, give us a call at 876-922-8680 or email cbishop@jis.gov.jm or kferguson@jis.gov.jm.
Water is precious. So we encourage everyone to practice the 4 R's of water conservation. Always remember to reduce your use of water wherever possible. Replace water wasting devices with water savings devices. Reuse water wherever possible. And wherever leaks are found, please repair them and repair them quickly.
Don't delay. Practice the 4 R's of water conservation today.
We've come to the close of Jamaica Magazine for today. We hope you've been enlightened and ask that you join us again tomorrow for more. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website, jis.gov.jm, or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also find us on all social media platforms. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.